Golf is one of the few sports where a tiny mistake, something as small as placing your ball a few inches off, can cost you everything. And by everything, I mean the winner's trophy and just around a $405,000 check. That's exactly what happened to Lexi Thompson at the 2017 ANA Inspiration. She was cruising with the lead until officials hit her with a 4-stroke penalty. Not because of a bad swing or a missed putt, but because she unknowingly replaced her ball slightly off mark and signed her scorecard without correcting it, and this happened after one day of the match. But golf is full of moments where weird technical rules change the game entirely. Like at the 2013 Shanghai Masters, Simon Dyson was on a roll tied for second. After 2 rounds and just 4 shots off the lead, he was right in the mix with a real shot at taking the title, and then came the moment that derailed everything. On the 8th green, Dyson tapped down a spike mark. That's a little dent made by a golf shoe right in the line of his putt. Now, the rules say you can fix pitch marks made by the ball, but not spike marks made by shoes. This was a big no-no. At first, no one noticed Dyson finished the round and signed his scorecard without adding a penalty. But then a TV viewer spotted the mistake and reported it to the officials. And because he didn't add the 2-shot penalty to his scorecard, he was disqualified from the tournament. Dyson obviously said he didn't even remember tapping down the spike mark. The European Tour held a hearing and decided to fine him nearly $50,000 and give him a suspended 2-month ban, meaning if he broke a rule again in 18 months, the ban would take effect. Fast forward to the 2022 RBC Heritage, and a similar story took place. Harold Varner III was locked in playing solid golf, and then something strange happened that completely threw him off and cost him big. While he was preparing to play a shot, a fan accidentally moved his ball. Normally, if a ball moves because of something outside the player's control, there's no penalty. But when this happened, the ball ended up out of bounds after it was moved, and because it went out of bounds, Varner got a penalty for the stroke and distance. Varner was visibly frustrated. Everyone knew it wasn't his fault and the fan moved the ball, but the rules never give anyone a break, now do they? If you thought that was harsh, wait till you hear what happened to Dustin Johnson at the 2016 US Open at Oakmont. He was locked in chasing his first major by the 5th green. He did everything by the bookmark, cleaned, replaced his ball, and as he was lining up his putt, the ball suddenly moved barely. Johnson immediately called over a rules official, saying he hadn't caused the ball to move. The official agreed and told him to play it from where it had stopped without any penalty, but the drama wasn't over. Later, after reviewing video footage, the USGA decided that Johnson probably did cause the ball to move when he grounded his club near it, and that was enough to get hit with a 1-stroke penalty right in the middle of the final round. The crowd was confused, players were frustrated, and the USGA took heat for injecting uncertainty into a major championship while it was still happening. And the 2024 Shriners Children's Open gave us another one. Joel Dahmen was in a steady groove playing smart, clean golf, but during a casual moment between shots, a small decision led to a penalty no one saw coming until the rules stepped in. Dahmen had 1 more club in his bag than the rules allow. Golfers can carry only 14 clubs during a round, but Dahmen had 15. It's a simple rule, but breaking it means penalty strokes. When officials found out, Dahmen got a 4-stroke penalty. And for a big tournament like that, it was a huge hit, especially when every stroke counts. Dahmen looked stunned and admitted it was an honest mistake. He just forgot to remove an extra club. Just when you think that's rough, remember Lexi Thompson in 2017. She was dialed in at the ANA Inspiration, playing some of the best golf of her career, and firmly in position to take the win until a single moment ruined everything. During the final round, Lexi's ball moved slightly when she was taking a drop. She dropped the ball again, but it wasn't in the right spot according to the rules. And if you're thinking about the rules now, here's what was wrong according to the officials. When you take relief and drop your ball, it has to come to rest within a specific area called the relief zone. If it rolls outside that zone, you have to re-drop. And if it still doesn't stay in the right spot after the second try, then you get to place it. Lexi's second drop didn't land correctly, but she played it anyway, and no one caught it until a TV viewer reported it after the round. When officials reviewed the footage, realized the ball wasn't properly placed, they simply handed her a 4-stroke penalty, 2 for the incorrect drop and 2 more for signing an incorrect scorecard. Lexi went from leading the tournament to losing in a playoff, and along with the heartbreak, she lost out on the winner's check of $405,000. Bizarre timing and bad luck aren't limited to big-name events. At the 2017 Web.com Tour Finals, Matthew Southgate was pushing for his PGA Tour card and playing solid golf. Then on the 15th hole, just as he rolled a 6-foot birdie, but a rogue leaf drifted onto the green and smacked his ball mid-roll. The ball's path changed and it missed the hole. Southgate, thinking the leaf was just a random thing, tapped in the ball and moved on. But the rules say that if a ball in motion is deflected by a moving object like a leaf, the stroke must be canceled and replayed from the original spot. Southgate didn't know this rule. Because he didn't replay the putt, he got hit with a brutal 4-shot penalty, 2 strokes for the wrong move, and 2 more for signing an incorrect scorecard. His par turned into a quadruple bogey, and his chances of earning a PGA Tour card were ruined. Southgate's penalty was a painful example of how not knowing a rule can derail an entire season. But not all infractions come from confusion. Some come from good intentions gone wrong. That's what happened with Jordan Spieth at the President's Cup. His opponent's ball was slowly rolling toward the hole, and with the crowd growing louder and more distracting, Spieth reached out and stopped the ball before it could drop. He said he was trying to calm things down, but under match play rules, interfering with a moving ball like that is a violation no matter the reason. Because of that move, Spieth was disqualified from the hole, which, yeah, sounds dramatic, but it didn't end his round. He kept playing the rest of the match, but losing that hole definitely hurt Team USA's momentum. The whole thing sparked a lot of debate, not because the rule was confusing, but because what Spieth did felt more like sportsmanship than anything shady. Still, golf doesn't care about good intentions. If you break the rule, you pay the price. Sometimes, even knowing the rule isn't enough, especially when the rules keep changing. Just ask Phil Mickelson. At the 2023 PGA Championship, he found himself in a tricky drop situation near a hazard. The rules about drops had been updated not long before, especially around lateral relief and penalty areas, and Phil was clearly trying to get it right. The problem there was that even the pros have to pause mid-round and double-check, because one wrong move could mean a penalty, or worse, a headline. He was about to drop the ball in the wrong spot, which would have caused a penalty. Luckily, a rules official stepped in just in time and stopped him from making the wrong drop. Mickelson looked relieved, but also a bit frustrated because the new rules were confusing even for him. And who could blame him? The rules had changed, and even a 5-time major winner was second-guessing the basics. Confusing or not, some rules have always been strict, like the one that trips up players in bunkers. At the 2011 Masters, Matt Kuchar was in contention and playing well when he found himself in the sand. And in case you didn't know, there's one thing you absolutely can't do in a bunker: touch the sand with your club before starting your swing. Kuchar accidentally grounded his club just before his shot. The officials noticed and immediately gave him a 2-stroke penalty. This penalty was a big blow because it knocked him out of a chance to get into a playoff for the win. At times, golf can give you a penalty for playing too slow. These are very rare on the PGA Tour, but even top players like Dustin Johnson have faced warnings and penalties for it. In the 2013 BMW Championship, Johnson was playing in a big tournament and was taking longer than allowed to make his shots. Golf has a pace of play rule to keep the game moving, and players can get penalized if they take too long. Johnson was given a slow play penalty, which is unusual for a player of his experience and skill. He looked a bit surprised and frustrated, but accepted the ruling anyway. Golf might look calm on the outside, but as we've seen, the rulebook can be just as brutal as any missed putt or bunker shot. So next time you see a pro looking stressed out over a simple drop or standing frozen near a hazard, there's probably a rule behind it. If you learned something new today, hit that like button. Subscribe for more golf breakdowns and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one.